Hello and welcome back to Downtime Activities, and welcome back to Skygate, our 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign that takes place almost entirely underground. Still underground, but less underground than it has been recently. The party last time returned from their first expedition in the Underdark to the Dwarven Hold of Skygate. And inside there now, got their payday for completing their expedition, got some stuff in the works as far as meetings and crafting and the like. That'll take a couple days. And Campbell bought a box seats for everybody to go to the opera, to the Sapphire Resonance Opera House. Let me swing on down to that area.
I assume there's really dramatic music playing when we arrive. Yeah.
Arriving and that night, I assume you guys are all wearing your Sunday best.
I guess.
Yep. My gaudiest dress clothes.
Yes.
Hingara will wear his jaunty little hatted suit that you guys got made for him.
Of course.
Aurora will was invited as well, and she's wearing very fine silk, almost think traditional Indian clothes. Kind of like silk sachet kind of ensemble, brightly colored. And the group of you can arrive to the Sapphire Resonance Opera House. Is large...
Warpin coming?
Oh, you guys did invite him. You'll have to go there to see if he shows up.
I mean, he can't stand up his beloved.
Wearing his best freshly washed whole bear skin.
With the bear still alive, but it doesn't growl because it doesn't want him to know it's still alive. Otherwise, we'll wrestle it back into submission.
The bear just constantly has his mouth on his head, and every time he tries to bite, he sucker punches it.
The group will arrive at the Sapphire Resonance Opera House. Waiting out front is one Warbin Cragcrown, he is wearing the Canadian tuxedo of dwarven traditional dress clothes. So it is the shape of traditional dwarven dress wear, but it's made more out of furs and deep leathers than it is finer cloths. But it is fine clothing wear. And once again, his hair has been kind of greased to the side as best he could. Some hair's kind of springing and standing up in the back. But he's done his best.
That's okay.
And he'll happily greet you and want to hear all about your guys' excursion and what you found out while you guys walk into the Sapphire Resonance Opera House. It is a beautiful building. It is very, very tall, circular building with gemstone inlaid sections all around the outside of it. The gemstone inlay on the outside, a lot of it is small bits and pieces around it, and again, sapphire, so it's very... The stonework is a very cool kind of gray color of stone, and it has lots of little bits of sapphire and blue gemstone kind of embedded around the outside of it. Entering into it, it is a very tall, almost tower-like cylindrical building. It's wider than your average. It's not like a wizard tower. It's a broad tower, and it is a Colosseum circular seating inside with 4 boxes that coming from the different ends of it. One of which is yours. And you guys will be directed by a dwarf wearing a small little fez hat and vest over nice clothing to your box seat and gesture to take a seat. Inside there is already a couple of basins on ice with a wine in one and what looks like some sort of stronger brew in the other. They are not labeled bottles. They are bottles out there, and this is overlooking the stage itself, which is beautiful. This seems like maybe it was a natural crystal cavern that's been carved away and turned into this kind of Colosseum-style seating around the outside of it, and extra very large sapphire gemstones have been inlaid, those of you who are locals would know, strategically throughout the surrounding of this building, so that the way that singing and sound hits in this place, resonates with the gemstone, and makes this like thrumming sort of echo to people's voices. And the show will take some. You guys have arrived early enough. You have some time before the show will start itself. There is kind of rhythmic, low humming and drum beats happening kind of pervasively through the arena. But it's just kind of background noise at the moment. And it seems to be done intentionally low and fairly quiet, though it does resonate still, to be background noise. So there's not an overwhelming volume so people can talk.
Do we get opera glasses? The little binoculars with the stick?
There is 3 sets of them per box. So you would have to divvy them amongst each other if you would
All
like
yours,
to.
Candle.
All 3 of them.
I'll leave them lined up. I can see every pore on this person.
Yeah.
There is absolutely some of those little there are some of those little opera glass spectacle zoom things on the stick.
Excellent.
I will be eating the canapes with Ingara.
They do start occasionally they will arrive with a platter of different like nice little appetizers. It's nothing super fancy. It's nice. It's small bites. It's little appetizer foods.
I would like to use the little thing of opera glasses to scan the other private boxes and see who's in them.
Snooping.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception
We're high
check.
society now.
There's the next one. We the jingle. It's
We
nice.
need-
It's small bites. It's little appetizer foods.
Of course I'm snooping. We're high society now. We need to be snooping. 22.
22. Looking through these, you can see that one of the boxes is currently occupied by, let's see here. You have one that seems to be occupied by a bunch of well-dressed dwarves that you do not recognize. Just well-dressed group of dwarves. They seem to be being a little rowdy in their box. Kind of, not like tearing things up, but they're kind of like...
Bachelor party.
They're kind of blustering around being party dwarves. You can see... What was that? Oh, classic. You can see in one of the boxes, there is a group of finely dressed dwarves behaving much better. One of which you do recognize as a... what is the name? What's the name? As Filky Godvault, leader of the Godvault clan, who seems to have others around. It seems like maybe some sort of work outing. Like everyone there seems to be in like kind of nice clothes, but fairly matchy kind of style clothes. And people seem to be like conversing and having fun, but like intentionally like, it's like the boss is here, we can't have too much fun when the boss sees us, and like very much they're on edge with Filky nearby. And in the other one, you see what appears to be... Let me check this here. What is the contacts you know? What are your contacts from originally?
Throden Clanless
Okay.
and Sir Jaxie.
Okay.
Sir
There's...
Jaxel Traith Hashfrony Axeldine? Is that even close?
Wow! You are nailing it with
I
the
wouldn't be
names.
able to write it down, but for some reason that's stuck in my head.
There is a group of dwarves in this one as well that seems to be somewhat rowdy, having a good time. One of which you don't maybe recognize what this is, whom this is. One is wearing what looks like pretty nice armor. Go ahead and roll me a history. Go ahead and roll me a history to see if you recognize this person.
10.
10. You don't remember this person's name, and you don't recognize them. You don't know them personally, but their armor does have a crest on the front of it that you do recognize as the Copper Knot crest.
Oh. So it might be like the leader of the Copper Knots, potentially?
Potentially. It's nice armor.
Interesting.
I will also grab those pair of binoculars and see who's in the actual crowd. If anybody of note is there. 'Cause why
Okay,
not?
go ahead and roll me a perception check.
'Cause why not?
This is why you go to the opera.
13.
People watch.
13. Looking through it, nobody stands out to you that you recognize.
I don't fucking know anybody here. I just set them down.
There's a lot of people inside of here, and there's none that you kind of catch as you're looking through this.
I will say that they're like I will list off the people I see in the other boxes. Looks like
Okay.
the God Vaults are out in force. Seems to be a work outing, and mostly uncomfortable around their boss. A group that looks like it might be a bachelor party. Rowdy dwarves, and a group that a copper knot is a part of, if at least if they're not all copper knots. Interesting.
I don't know. I present my thing, man. If you can't tell, I'm not
Copper
one
Which one of you knows a copper knot? One of you knows a copper knot is your contact.
Is not Zarak.
Me.
Of course it's Dermir.
I know Fulcrum Copperknot, the leader of the Copperknots.
Falcon Proper, leader of the Proper Knights.
And you know the Copper Knot clan is kind of a disgraced clan. They've kind of had their clan status revoked, but they still operate primarily as like a mercenary company out of the area.
It was something to do with a member of the royal family, wasn't it?
Yeah, those of you who are locals would probably know that the Copper Knot clan was once known as a great clan of warriors, but after a shameful decision by a believed to be long dead clan member, they had that that greater clan status revoked, and it was because specifically, one moment, what the rumor was is that a previous Copperknot family member, someone named Dryson Copperknot, kidnapped a Crag Crown princess and named Kapatra and fled into the Underdark to steal her away. And that later on she was imprisoned by Dwergar King, and that they believed that this Copperknot stole her for the Dwergar and sold her to them. And such an atrocious act was terrible enough that it led to the clan being revoked of its clan status.
See? Maybe I'll talk to him later on.
Okay.
Why do you know?
I don't know.
And you know, Falcon is a she.
Why do you know her?
I was told that I know her.
She's someone that I think that the kind of canon we decide is that maybe you did some work for them briefly after leaving the clergy for the mercenary side of them.
Oh, maybe it was. I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah. I think that's what it was.
Right?
Or at least they approached you because having a person who's adept in healing magics is useful for a mercenary company. Maybe, I don't know if you actually worked with them or not, or did for very long, but knew her through that.
They were not true dwarves.
Of course. Not true enough dwarves, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Snack on canapes, drink. Wait for the show to start, I guess.
And as you guys finish appetizers, new trays can be brought out to you, and as you finish drink, more drink is brought out to you. It seems like this boxy, they try to you spent 100 gold pieces here, like they're trying to keep you stocked on drink and snack and make it a pleasant experience.
We're gonna get our money's worth, dang it.
Well, you're gonna get your money's worth.
Right. And you're gonna help me get my money's worth, dang it.
So, if you guys kind of hang out, if there's any specific conversation you're going to have you have some time before the show starts, but after a little bit, I can describe that.
I think I want to just keep people watching for the most part. Even probably during the opera itself, I'll probably just mostly be people watching. But
Okay.
I'm explaining to Ngara what an opera is and why it's important for him to understand.
And he seems like very confused by the concept of, the concept of music.
Right.
Like, he's like, we would make, the clan would, make drum beats and stuff like that, but it was really more for ritual purposes or because they thought it made a funny noise. Like, it was not like,
I'm shooting
he's like, I don't understand how this is something that people are like,
about.
I guess something you just do for fun. Like, you
I'm
fart,
shooting
it's a
for
funny
the
noise.
scene
You
in,
hit a skull with a hammer, it's a funny noise.
I'm shooting for the scene in Shawshank Redemption where everyone hears like the opera scene for the first
Yeah.
time, and they're all like, like it's like angels.
They're sure he knows he's supposed to just listen and not join in.
Right.
Sorry,
Make sure you
I still
understand.
don't know what this is a quiet time about.
And there's no real announcement that the show is starting. The kind of low humming and drum beats kind of fades to nothingness, and there's kind of a bit of a pause. And then there seems to be a kind of directed beam of light that hits center stage, and walking out onto it is a dwarven woman who... does it have her description here? 1 moment. Yeah, so walking out is a pretty, very beautiful dwarven woman. She seems fairly young. In dwarven terms, she's probably a young adult, which might be like 40 years old. But like in dwarven terms, she looks like a fairly young person. She has tightly braided dark black hair. And she walks out wearing what looks like not like very fancy clothing. Like it's kind of drapey, loose clothing that is a fine material, but not particularly like lavishly cut or decorative. And she walks out very stern-faced and like kind of does the like hands together in the center of her chest in the middle, and closes her eyes and starts to just. She doesn't kind of announce anything. She starts to sing, and it is angelic in its quality, not in its style. Like it is an insanely beautiful. Like this is like a generational talent singing for you here. And her voice in this particular place echoes and reverberates and feels like it's like echoing from all around and bouncing inside of your head. And it is a very high, for a dwarf, it's a fairly high-pitched singing, but it carries a bit of a rasp to it, and it has this like impeccable tone throughout it. And anyone who speaks Dwarvish, it is what she is singing in. Listening to her sing, it is powerful, very like beautiful singing. Lyrically, it is a storytelling almost style of singing that has scathing political undertones as part of the message. It is really like a song that is beautiful, and if you're just listening to it at face value, is about like loving stories and stuff like that of like being a dwarf and living underground. But it is, if you listen a little closer to what it's saying, it is kind of talking about the inherent flaws of the governmental system that exists inside of Skygate.
Oh, wow.
And the kind of a single tier. It is very much it is like mocking the clan system as well as the system of like kings and stuff of the city, and how it's kind of a power to the people sort of rock and roll message hidden inside of this beautiful operatic singing.
Uh-oh.
I would
a structured settlement.
The only opera such you've ever seen.
I would like to. Especially in the midst of that, I would definitely like to be checking the other boxes and the audience to see if like how that's going down. I guess like.
This is like a popular show. Like this isn't like her first debut. She's probably been singing.
This is not her first debut. She is well loved, and again, locals know that she is well loved, and especially well loved by the people of Skygate. Are particularly a lot of the clanless people of Skygate.
I think what you should be looking at is Warbin. But I don't think Warbin cares.
I don't think Warbin gets political undertones.
Warbin's like, this is kind of boring. It has nothing to
Watching
do with
Warbin
canon."
watch it, whatever he understands does not seem to bother him. This is again, he's a part of the royal family, but wants nothing to do with leadership and control of the royal family. So he doesn't seem to be taking offense.
He's like,
You would know that like Dolgren is a bronze tap. Dolgren, the owner of the Sapphire Resonance Opera House, is, but that quite a few of their shows have some like political undertone stuff to it, and it's so beloved by the people that although some of the greater clans and stuff have voiced upset feelings about this, it's not going anywhere. It's an institution of the place that gets to kind of survive. looking at the other boxes, the
Also, just to make sure nobody's being assassinated in one of the boxes.
yeah. No, so the bachelor party dwarves are still seem to have calmed down from their rowdiness and seem to be somewhat entranced by the music. It seems to have focused them in enough to stop being as rowdy for a minute. Everybody in the work trip group seems to be quietly enjoying the music, and the ones in the Copper Knot booth seem to be particularly really taking in the words and really enjoying the songs.
I just expect one of these times I'm going to be scanning the audience or the other booths, and I'm going to see somebody looking back at us, and it's just like, oh.
Busted.
While scanning from box to box, you do recognize one person in the audience as well, between two of the boxes, fairly close to the front sitting, and it is Sir Jaxeltrave Hashfrani Axeldean. But he does have another Dragonborn sitting next to him as well. And they seem to both be quiet, they seem to be kind of enjoying the music, being quiet and respectful at the moment.
Like another knight?
They both are wearing fine clothes at the moment. They're not in armor. Looking at this individual, go ahead and roll me a perception to see what you take in.
I'll also point them out to Lala because Lala's a knight of that order. So, and usually the squire to Sir Jackson.
Sir Lala Pluralipsy the Third. Dwarf King.
What was that roll, Erickson?
Perception.
Perception is an 8.
8. What you can tell is the Dragonborn sitting next to him is a silver Dragonborn. With an 8, that's all you can really pick out.
Shiny.
If Lala would like to, if he points out to you that Sir Jaxi is in the crowd, that there's another Dragonborn sitting next to him.
I'll take a peek. A little peek.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check as well. He can kind of direct you so you can look at them to see what you pick out of them.
Lala is nothing if not a snoop and a gossip. That's a crit.
That's a crit! Okay, you look over and you're like, dear God, could it be? Sitting next to Sir Jaxeltrave Hashfrani Axeldean is, of course, the illustrious Sir Dowdramastanthian Unctavarius the Unflinching. The one, the only. One of the most famous knights of your order, a very aged, very long-tenured member of the Order of the Gentleman Knights, Sir Dowdramastanthian Unctavarius the Unflinching. You know that Sir Jaxeltrave Hashfrani Axeldean does not have another... The unflinching having another characteristic at the end of your name is something that's a seasoned and well-respected member of your order. And this guy is, you've only met on a few occasions in long ago, and it seems like that was years ago, and this guy was old then. This was the old doddering knight then, and then you're it's kind of you're still living? As you see this old man, respected knight next to him.
Okay.
Well, it's good to get Grandpa out of the house.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
And last you knew, he was still in your homeland. He wasn't somebody who was traveling here.
So it's what is he doing here? How did he even get here?
How did he
survive
just-
the trip?
This old guy should not be flying. He is not safe to be on a plane.
Yeah.
He didn't drive here, did he? He didn't drive himself here, did he?
During the opera, can I try to hold Corbin's hand?
You absolutely can. It's that nervous, slow reach for the hand on the side. But yeah, you absolutely can.
How beat red
Warbin blushes.
Can we roll to see how beat red Warbin is?
Holding hands in public.
No roll required. No roll required. He is blushing. He is quite red. I like this campaign because it's this campaign just is literally a swinging pendulum between the tentacles undulate and Warbin blushes. That's just this campaign back and forth. It's weird unhinged shit and this dwarf being
That is
being
an
a little lover
that's
boy.
out of context quote. The tentacles undulate and Warbin blushing.
This campaign swings back and forth between the tentacles undulate and Warbin blushes.
How's everyone's favorite Booyag assistant doing?
Oh yeah, how does Ingar like
He
With actual
is
music?
he is entranced in less of a respectful sense and more of a confused sense. Like he is
He doesn't know what music
confused.
is.
It's like introducing somebody to the concept of music with like one of the best sang songs you've ever heard in your life. Like it's just like he's like taking it in, and it is so foreign a concept to him that he is entranced by it, but very deeply confused by it.
That's fair. It takes time.
He seems to be enjoying it, but confused by it.
That's right. It took him a bit to get used to pancakes too. So
They'll figure it out.
Pancakes. The most beautiful music in the world.
They'll figure it out.
Potato,
He just needs to hear it a couple times.
Yeah.
Eat it. Taste it.
Eat the music. Taste the music.
You must taste the
This is
texture
the-
of the
This is the
tone.
most random ass Skittles ad I've ever heard. Eat the music. Taste the music.
But yeah, she performs a set of multiple songs. The kind of conceptual idea behind most of them. Some of them are just beautiful traditional dwarven songs that are just like famous old tales and stuff like that. But a lot of the ones that aren't traditional, recognizable ones have some political undertones to them.
interesting.
Fair enough.
Fight the power.
Whoa, fight the power.
Cool.
Dermir's in love. And he will try really hard to go meet this girl.
Can Jeremiah even see her?
Oh, no.
That's the true question. Is he looking at her?
Yeah, but I'm looking like if that's a stage, I'm looking.
I
He has to use- he has to
we
use
had a
the
massive
upper glasses
following
of
of
just one
talented
eye.
people because I want an animation of this like dwarven beauty like singing, and then this like cut to pan of this dwarf with eyes out like this, like welling up with tears, and just like a quiet. I think I'm in love,
She's a true dwarf in every
and she's just out there like well, I'm running down your family.
She's singing some Rage Against the Machine, and Jeremiah's like, I'm in love.
It's that concert we went to where all three bands played "Killin' in the Name,"
Yes.
and it just
And a
got,
fourth opera singer, like generationally talented opera singer, sings "Killing in the Name of." But yeah, unless there's anything else you guys are doing during the show, it is a beautiful set that ends, and she does go back through the doors she came from. I don't know what your plan is to try and meet her, but
I'm just gonna walk back. I'm just gonna go look.
He's just gonna bypass everybody that goes.
there's like
I'm
the
pretty sure they're
stage center. You'd have to like walk out of the box down to the normal seating, and then like over a rail to a fairly significant drop to get down to the stage, to then get over to the door she went through. You are welcome to try and do that. There is security and stuff, but you.
He's gonna use the force on because I am not dexterous enough to do
Here's
that.
what I'm concerned about. Here's what I'd be concerned about if I was them: is you running out there and being like, "Keep my city's name out your fucking mouth," and Will Smith in that shit.
Keep my. Is there like just not security guarding that door so Jeremiah gets down?
There is security around the like kind of gated, like the safety barred lower nosebleed seats. You can get to those seats fairly easily
Wait,
from
hang
where
on.
you're
She's
at.
a bronze tab, right?
Yeah, you just have to put it in.
You just gotta put in a word with the.
with Morgan.
No, not Orban.
we do also
What's
know
her
the
name?
bronze tabs.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we have a,
You
we
know
have a
beta
good
bronze
hit with
tab.
the bronze tab.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, you don't need to break the law and get.
You
in
don't
trouble.
have to rush the stage to
But
have a
he's already
chance of
done
meeting
it.
this
He's
person.
already
I'm
gone.
entranced though.
I mean, you have fallen into the siren song.
I think we should go talk to Sir Jaxie,
I
my old drinking buddy, and your old boss.
Yeah, I get it. You can go talk.
I'm gonna grab like two of the bottles out of there and just start walking away with them.
I'm absolutely, by the way,
You
Action,
get
I'm
to the
absolutely
stage.
keeping the opera glasses.
Okay, you're
Yeah.
gonna swipe one of those.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead and mark that down.
I'm taking two of those taking two of the fanciest bottles that are left and walking out with them.
Okay.
That's illegal.
This
You
is-
guys are why you shouldn't let like trashy people do nice things.
Yes.
This is also
You're
an
like,
opera house.
we're gonna go to the booth and just steal everything that ain't nailed down.
This is also an opera house for dwarves. I'm sure there are other. I'm sure whatever happened at last night's show was way worse than.
The bachelor party left it in a much worse state than you guys left your booth. That's for certain. So what are you doing in order to? Are you going to try and talk to the bronze taps later on, or are you like trying to get down onto the stage?
Yeah, we're still in
Oh
Dwarven
yeah, what are you
territory.
doing, buddy? You're gonna.
It's
Also, like, I can't walk down and then like try to find my way backstage. Like,
I mean, you can walk back out to the front, and like, there's certainly doors and stuff that are like employee-only doors that you could try and wander into and see. Like, there's not a clear-cut way to get into backstage without getting onto the stage, which would be jumping a railing and falling a decent fall onto the stage floor.
I'll just go back. I'm just gonna wander through some doors.
Okay. It doesn't take very long for you to like wander through a door, and the first employee-only door you wander through goes to an area where there's quite a few of those people with their fezzes and vests, seeming to be like kind of gathering and cleaning up different trays and bottles. And one's like, "Sorry, sir. Sorry, only employees back here of the opera house."
What about true dwarfs?
They'll have to wait in the lobby, sir.
Hold on.
Lightning bolt.
Is he
I
about
have magic.
Oh god. Can one of us stop him before we
No.
all get arrested?
I mean,
or we can...
You guys walk out into the lobby or towards the lobby, and he wanders in a direction, and you don't know where
If he
what
gets
he's doing.
arrested,
He
that's
doesn't
his
announce
fault
it.
And problem.
We've got all kinds of money to bail.
I was like, don't you have money? Can just bribe him. I'm pretty sure
I
like
could bribe him.
that'd probably be a lot easier than casting a spell and getting a.
These are minimum wage employees. If I know my capitalism, so
I'm between thaumaturgy and inflict wounds. I don't know which one.
unlimited.
Yeah, I'll throw him like, I don't know, 3 gold.
Okay.
Just be like, I am an employee
Sorry.
here.
Oh, okay. do you want some work to do? I don't know what you're doing. Things? This is more than I make in a couple weeks.
Who
Where-
is the
what?
bronze-
Where is the bronze step lady?
Oh, you mean the one who just
I must
performed?
see her.
Oh,
I'm her
teacher.
Teacher.
And he like looks down the goal and he's like, for you, I will let you know that I'll follow me. And he walks back towards the door you came from. He's like, come on, man, come with me. And he like opens the door and he like points, and you can see her standing at the front, greeting people as they leave. Anything for you, buddy? And he pockets the people.
Eric said,
Oh, we've already passed. We've already talked about like that was an amazing performance. Thank you so much. And left, and you like you're at the end of the line because you.
you start wandering back. You did not catch that she was there
Eric
to
said,
say
Eric
goodbye
said,
to people.
I'm so glad that that's the route this went, because I was really having flashbacks to what turned into the Blue Star job in
Please no, please no.
where it's
These
like,
are good
all right,
people.
it's a simple heist, and then you guys immediately kidnap somebody and kill 9 people. And,
That'd be funny if I just came in and killed
And
like a bunch of employees.
Swerve who kicked off that stuff.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm having flashbacks.
This goddamn Haas Radborn kidnapping a duke's daughter or something, and
Hey, you just play with your bubble wrap and shut up. If anybody wants to know, that's what he's doing.
I have bubble wrap.
Well, I will.
Nobody ever pays me in bubble wrap.
How long's the line? Or is it a line, or is it just like...
People seem to be kind of queuing up to like shake her hand and tell her good job. Some people are just like noticing her and like wanting to leave and are done for the night. It seems like there is kind of a line forming if people want to actually say something to her.
better get
And there
in
is
line,
a
bud.
pair of fairly burly-looking dwarves next to her who seem to be politely telling people to move along if they're taking too much of her time because she's trying to say hi to so many people.
I'll just give her a bow and a tip of the fez on the way out the door.
And she'll bow and smile at you and say, and as people walk by, it seems like to dwarves she speaks in dwarvish, to non-dwarves she speaks in common, saying like, "Hope you enjoyed the show." If you don't say anything in particular.
Yeah, I'll just get in line, I guess. And we'll
Okay. You're in line heading that way.
Yes.
Did you guys want to talk to anybody else?
They want to talk to.
Sir Jaxie, I think.
They want to talk to Sir Jackson's.
If you wait, Sir Jaxeltrafe and Sir Daldramastanthian, Uncturvius the Unflinching,
Yeah, that one I'm not
I have to give them the respect. Well, the two of them will come walking out eventually from in the crowd. You can definitely pick them out. They're a good head taller than most of the people here.
What the 6 foot tall gold and silver dragonborn stand out in the dwarves did? I'm shocked.
Yeah, a little bit. And
surprised they haven't
Sir
been mined
Jaxeltrafe will definitely recognize you over there and like kind of helps the sauntering old man. The man, he walks with pride and a bit of a hobble. He is a very old man, but he seems to still walk with his chest out tall. And the two of them will make their way over to you, and Sir Jaxeltrafe will bow deeply to you, and Sir Dow will try to do the same. And Sir Jaxeltrafe will be like, I believe you recognize my once squire, now Dame Lalaparina Lolipsi III. And of course,
Sir
I
Dame
hope you recognize
No, not Dave,
the illustrious Sir Dow Dramastanthian Uncturvius the Unflinching.
I'm going to do
Shit.
my deepest bow.
You paid,
Okay.
You paid 3 gold.
And he kind of like looks over you with these kind of half fogged over silver eyes, and he's like, a fine flourishing bow. This one has promise, Jaxeltrafe. Sir Jaxeltrafe has for the accident. This one has promise. And Sir Jaxie will say, it's actually quite fortuitous us seeing you here. I was hoping to, and Sir Dow will speak over me. He says, we were hoping to ask a favor. I was hoping to ask a favor. You're a part of an Underdog expedition company, Sir Jaxeltrafe Hashford Axeldeep has told me.
I stuff his pockets with business cards.
He's like, I don't wish to hire you, not in a traditional sense. I'm looking for one last, and you see me kind of shadow.
Oh my God, he wants to come with
one
us.
last adventure, and I think the Underdark is one great threshold I haven't crossed before. I would like to go with you on your next outing. That I might have another tail, another feather in my cap, as it were, before
gonna
my
die.
time comes to.
I walk over to Jaxie and I go, if he dies on this expedition, we're not liable for this, right?
He says, the knight is making. He says, so now Dramastanthian Octavius the Unflinching makes his own decisions, of course.
Okay.
All right. I'm not gonna. I look at him and I'm like, I'm not gonna say no. But as I walk away, I'm muttering to myself, "This is a bad idea in Abyssal."
I mean,
different language. Like, oh god.
Our next goal was probably going to be sort of to go find that Alhoon, right? And ask him a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
To find
That could be a
Alhoon,
cool thing to take him along.
go find
Yeah.
Alhoon,
I
and then go
think
to
it's
Slofton.
a great
if
idea
possible.
as long
Right.
as he knows it's a good possibility that he may not come back.
He laughs deeply. He says, what good adventure has no chance of peril? That is why I have sought you out. I wanted a perilous, preposterous opportunity at adventure.
Well, then you're more than welcome to come with us. I'm going to
Sir Jaxeltrafe, Hashford Axeldeep, please give them the details of my current
thing-
lodgings. I'm quite tired. It's time for me to go to bed tonight. He starts
I'm just still.
and he bows with a slow but artful flourish at you, and he says, Dame Lalaparina Lolipsi III, a pleasure. I cannot wait to explore and adventure with you and your friends in the near future.
I like this guy.
He's gonna die.
He's
I'm still
extremely
muttering
dead.
to myself, like I just keep changing between like abyssal and infernal. Like this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. He's gonna die.
He's already dead. His fate is.
And he will go doddering away, and
Maybe
Jaxie
he's
will.
the one to survive out of all of them.
Jaxie will quickly scrawl the name of a tavern, hand it to you, and then go sauntering after and be like, "Good night, all," and try to catch back up with him.
You unflinching.
I'm gonna take
With
this
a name like that, we
opportunity.
cannot expect him to act intelligently in combat.
Right.
I'm going to take this opportunity to walk out, and I'll nod to the bronze tap as I walk out.
To the singer.
The singer, yeah. I don't
Okay.
remember the first name. Is Greta von Step?
You are also Beta is the one who runs
Greta von
the
Fleet.
Bronze clan. This is Dolgrita, I believe.
Rita.
Lovely Rita.
Is that right?
Rita, man. Your name.
Say what now? Dolgrita, yeah. Dolgrita, daughter of Dolgrin.
Rita, daughter of the Dolgrin. Yeah, I'll nod to her as I start to walk away.
She will give a smile and a nod. You don't have to wait in line because you're tall as hell, and so she can see you leaving and will smile and nod back at you as you walk by. Apart from the person who got at the back of the line, does anybody else want to talk to her or anybody else before you guys leave the opera for the evening?
I'll ask Gar if he has anything to say.
Oh, please no.
And he'll like kind of look at you wide-eyed and be like, "I'm still processing."
Understand.
We may need to reboot him. I think it's taking too long.
He's gonna like
Slightly
sneeze.
cross-eyed.
He's gonna like sneeze, cough, and fart at the same time. Do a factory reset.
He had to do a factory reset. And after queuing for a little while, you will arrive up to Dolgrita Bronzetap, who will give a smile and a nod to you as you approach.
I do want to be clear here before whatever happens, that I at least have headed for home at this point.
Oh yeah,
Actually, unless anybody wants to hit the town and do a bunch of drinking.
No, I'm heading home. I'm over this.
You guys are a little toasty already from your drink.
Yeah.
Warbin's here for a good
Warbin and
time,
Lana,
not a long
of course,
time,
are
so
so
he'll
down to
absolutely
go
hang
tear
with
up
you
the
guys.
Yeah, all right. We're gonna go tear up the town. Warbin, Lala, and Campbell.
Okay, I like it.
That's
We'll get
it.
to that in a second. First,
Okay.
Derby.
Also, pause one more time. Can we do a quick save and then reload as soon as it goes back?
No quick saves.
No.
Jerry.
This ain't Baldur's Gate.
Oh no. Steve goes
So,
away.
what are you saying to her?
Saying, I'm Dermir Trudolf, and you are true as well. And your words are lovely as well as your singing. I am enchanted by you.
So, the Trudorf, to define it, is Dermir, and anyone Dermir thinks is hot.
Or anybody
So
who
far,
does what
there
Dermir
are
classifies
three
as
true dwarves.
dwarfism.
There
You don't
is
need to be a dwarf to be a
Dermir,
true dwarf.
Dolgrita, and Warbin. I think are the three people who have been referred to as true dwarves by you so far. I think that's the only three true dwarves in this city. You can go ahead and roll me a persuasion.
I think he kind of liked
Oh, you know what? I got a pretty good persuasion.
the.
I think you kind of spec'd into this.
Oh,
think
and I have an
it's something
inspiration too. I'm totally using an inspiration on this if it doesn't work. Oh, yeah, 23.
Oh my god.
23. She will smile and say, "Thank you very much. I'm glad that my words were meaningful to you."
Yes. Now let me tell you about Trudolf.
Her mouth is about to kick it out.
I don't go on
And she
anything
seems to be
specific,
like
but I-
polite. Wait, go ahead.
I don't go on anything specific, but I do just go down a tangent of the systematic evils of really just the family of Stowe.
She's about to write a hit song about true dwarfism. Yeah.
You found your
Um,
tailor.
You are her muse. She seems to be like respectfully and intentionally listening to your words, but about halfway through your explanation, these other two dwarves are like, sorry, friend, there's a long line here. Gotta keep moving.
Tell her where you're gonna. Tell her where you preach. Tell her like where you stand on your soapbox.
Tell her your place.
What she wants
Tell
to
her
do
your
the rest
place of work in case she ever wants to,
Yeah.
details.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her my underground phone number, tell her.
So like where she can send a message to you, or the like street corner Hugh soapbox?
Both.
Both? Okay. She can be like, you can send me a message at the Inverted Peaks if you want to. But if you want to hear some more about True Dwarfism, I'll be on the corner of stone and granite, standing on a box.
Stone.
I'll be at the corner of sandstone and limestone.
That is what I do. And I leave.
Roll me one more persuasion
Oh my
check
God.
Let's see.
as you respectfully leave after that.
23.
Okay. Good. Noted.
His preaching has
She
never been
smiles
this well
and wishes you a
accepted.
good night as you leave.
I can't believe it.
Well, it's kind of like
I leave without causing any more
like
ruckus.
anti-systematic, right? Like it's hard to be like anti-establishment. Anti-establishment. That's what I was looking for. When you're not part of that like society at all. Like we're a bunch of like outsiders. None of us are dwarves. And it's like dwarven society is systematically corrupt. And we're like, I mean that's cool, but like none of us like we like barely engage in dwarven society like at all. Like we live in like a city of dwarves, I guess.
He's a human noble dealing with his own political problems. He was raised by a cult.
He was
a fried cook until he died and was brought back for some secret mission.
I'm a wizard. Which is above any
She's a
systemic
bard
rules.
looking for her muse, or
Yeah.
whatever Lala's story is.
As for the three of you who are going out to party for that night, I mean, that's a quick enough conversation, Dermir. Are you trying to catch up and join them as the group of that? It seems like the groups have kind of split off, some going towards the Inverted Peaks and some going towards, I assume, the Bronze Tap?
It's always a bonus
Yay.
Unless you guys are wanting to go to the Dented Spigot.
And you gotta start at the Bronze
Oh
Tap.
my
That's
god.
right.
I am so jazzed after this whole experience. I'm going drinking.
You see Dermir practically float over to the three of you with a big old smile on his face and his two very beady, small, far apart eyes with pupils the shapes of hearts.
This man needs a drink.
When you can see them. Sometimes they're in the...
You have to look really close.
As they're in the
Really
eye
hard.
socket there a little bit. You can only see one at a time, but it definitely hard to.
Yeah.
I think I'm essentially singing tonight there's going to be a jailbreak, but I've changed the words to tonight there's going to be a fist fight because it's just like we've already been drinking. Warbin's here.
Oh, yeah.
So there's going to be a fight.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be great.
And going to the Bronze Tap, when Warbin walks into the Bronze Tap, people take note. People know Warbin, especially here, and he's somebody who's immediately like, let's get some drinks. He's like, I'm a Crag Crown, put it on the Crag Crown tab, round for everybody. Like, the partying starts when he walks in, and you guys are definitely a part of it. You guys, much like the skeletons, are part of it. And unless there's specific shenanigans you guys are trying to get into,
I mean, I don't know if you have like the carousing rules around or.
you guys can definitely let's do it. I can have them around.
Carousing rules.
It's only gotten one D&D character married in our play group.
Oh.
Only the ones.
Oh.
Only the ones.
What
What's the
is
cool- What
this?
is it?
Everyone roll me a D100.
Okay. Everyone who's out, or just everyone?
Everyone who's out partying. Everyone who's out
Okay.
paraying.
If you're going home and being boring, you don't have to roll any.
Thank God.
There that goes with.
You're like, all right.
Doing him being
Oh my
fine.
gosh. Well, I know what happens to Warbin tonight.
Uh-oh.
That's just the scene. Yes.
Is Warbin waking up in the doghouse?
We'll see.
Or the cat house?
Can I roll for environment too?
All right, let's start with Dermir. What's your D100 roll?
55.
55. Yes. Oh, I can't. This is an amazing list I found. It is not normal carousing rules. This is amazing. So Dermir, you wake up butt naked at the just inside of the front doors of the family of Stone. To the slight prodding of the foot of one of these dwarven priestess nuns. We'll come back to that in a second. Cameron, roll me a D100.
To be continued and like roundabout
Yes.
starts playing.
What's your D100, Candle?
87.
87.
Jeremy.
You wake up at the kind of outskirts of the Crag Crown estate. You are wearing a newly fashioned, torn off of somebody's clothing. Your own clothing seems to be intact. Headband. You have some sort of kind of paint smeared across your face. And there seems to be a treatise of things written in your handwriting nailed to the fence at the front of this kind of outskirts that are detailing a lot of the stuff of the music you heard the night before.
Oh, it's a good thing I passed out before I actually kickstarted this revolution.
And
I
how
think I'll
about
just
for
head
Lala?
home, but I'll leave the note.
Okay. What was Lala's roll? D100.
53.
53.
Theodore went as well. I don't know if you heard, but he's feeling celebratory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think this was a group activity.
No, Zeraxis was not there.
Go ahead and re-roll for me, Lala. This one doesn't work.
Okay. Let's.
Uh-oh. 98.
Oh, fuck. That's quite high.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, so we'll get to you last. Zeraxis, roll yours.
Axel got a 9.
Oh, Axel went out, not Zeraxis. Axel. You got a 9?
Yeah.
A 9.
We're on opposite ends over here.
I know.
Oh no.
Oh no! Did he end up with the queen? Did the queen show up and he?
Wait a second. I have to think
story
if
writes
there's anyone
itself.
that fits this. Oh no.
And then I woke up on the Greg Crown stick with my pockets full of Molotov cocktails, wearing war paint. I
Is there
posted
anyone?
tweets to
There's
the door.
only one person that this could potentially work for. Who's? I think. Let me look through some notes for a second. This one is very spicy.
Oh no.
So we've got one.
My
We've got one.
spicy outfit.
We've got one that's made him have to check his notes, and one where he said, "We'll get to you last." Oh no.
Oh boy.
So mine was a 28.
Well, hang on. I want to hear the notes.
He's having to do some research on this one. If Axel ends up married to an orc again, it's gonna be
Especially in the Dwarven City.
I know, it's a hell of a
I think
it's
this-
Drax.
all
You
coming
wait-
together.
You wake up in an unfamiliar bed. You're also naked. However, you are not alone in bed. There is somebody next to you.
Oh no.
Their back is turned to you. Do you try and get a better look, or do you just get out of there?
Yes.
A dwarf or
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks like a dwarf.
looks like a dwarf.
Is it the dwarf
It
that?
has to be. Hang on. I bet I know who this is.
Is it the dwarf Axel was pining for at the
It's
front step?
It better not be my dwarf.
He's pacing back there.
No, I have it listed. Where I know it's somewhere. Hang
It
on.
better not be my
You have
dwarf.
a
Why did you just what? Why did you
They
just
oughta-
what?
It's Nizmen.
It is Nizmet. You recognize her. You
I'm
wake
like, I
up
know
in the
who
bed of
this is.
Nizmet Bromstead.
When you said you had to check your notes, and like, there's only one named character this could be. I'm like, I know who this
Is
is.
Nismet the one
That's
that you were? Is Nismet the one you got her autograph? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good on Axel.
Cool.
Applaud
I'll
him.
cook breakfast.
Who else went out? Did Theogar? You said you went out as well?
Yep.
Vagar went out. Zeraxis
What was your
the
roll?
only one who did not go out from the sounds of it.
My roll's a 28.
Hilarious.
It is a good question. Do we need to roll for Hinkara the Unfathomless?
That's true.
Because I assume he was there.
You wake up in your own bed, fully clothed, a little hungover, with a neatly folded piece of paper on the table next to you.
Oh no. Open it.
Is there anything written on the outside?
No, but it looks official.
It looks
I'll open it and read it.
Opening it, it seems that you have gone to a local Skygate governmental building and legally changed your name to Crimson Fox. First
That's my
name
new
Crimson,
legal
last
name.
Fox. That is your legal name in the city of Skygate. And you can tell, and it lists also like any other Skygate legal documents have been updated to match this. So it seems like your Vickelroy contracts have been updated to your name. That your previous one is in stand for the current person known as Crimson. Mr. Fox. Mr. Crimson Fox.
The real Crimson Fox is so mad at me.
No, you're the perfect cover.
Yeah, you're
It's
his
like
cover.
a Bruce Wayne situation. It's like he can't. Be
In the city of Skygate, you might need to put that on your character sheet, that your legal name here is now Crimson Fox until you legally change it.
Dude, this carousing rules list
Do
is
we
awesome.
do we need to roll for
can't do
Inkara
this
the
ever again.
Antagonist?
Oh yeah,
Should I roll for Angara?
I mean, he would have gone out.
Here,
with
can I roll for it, Angara?
Oh, yeah, you roll it. You didn't get to roll it. Go for it.
I can't wait to hear what
88.
88. He's not there in the morning.
I was kind of.
We'll see what happens with him.
It
He'll
would
show
have
up
been
later.
very funny if he got the same role as like me. So it's like I wake up on the correct road, state
You're,
like
you're
look over,
both of you together.
just like with face paint, and like oh, he's okay.
That's funny. That's a good list, Erickson. You should hold on to that one.
What
I
is,
need to keep a hold of this.
All right,
What
what's
happened
Lala's?
with Warbin? Let's hear Warbin before we hear
Right.
Lala.
Well, or unless Warbin is part of Lala's for story reasons.
Lala, you wake up in your own bed wearing a new full face of makeup, and there are 4 gold pieces on your nightstand that weren't there previously. And as you kind of like get out of bed, you like kind of spin around, like get up, and you kind of like rub your eyes, and you can see the like makeup smear off of your face onto your hands, and you see the gold sitting on your nightstand, and then you see a naked Warbin asleep on the ground next to your bed. And you don't know what happened, but that's where he is. He is very
More
much
gold
naked. His
pieces,
little
new makeup.
like his muscular brick dwarven butt cheeks up in the air.
Oh. Do I see his clothes anywhere? Is it here?
There's bits of your own and his clothing scattered throughout the room.
At least they made it to the room.
Oh god, that's funny.
I'm gonna try to wake him up.
While all this is going on, I just like the image, like, everybody's trying to figure out where they're at. Xeraxis is sitting at the table drinking, like, a cup of coffee or something, chatting with, like, Aurora or whoever, just like...
You and Aurora are, like, having a normal morning conversation, and the front door opens, and walking in looks a very dejected Hingara wearing a ball gown. Slowly sauntering in. And he'll kind of pause and, like, look over at you with, like, glazed-over eyes, and then just turn his head back forward and keep walking towards Axel's room.
This is becoming the movie The Hangover. Which one's who's gonna be missing all this?
Yeah, no. It was meant to be Angara.
I know the people working with us. He's missing.
You have to check the roof of the Sapphire Resonance Opera House for Hingara.
As of right now, the only one who's not the only 2 who are not accounted for are Dermir and
Axel.
Yeah,
We'll start with Dermir. What are you doing, Dermir?
So I'm just like getting.
You kind of like turn and wake up. You realize that your clothes and personal items are off but neatly folded in the corner of the room that you're in. And you are naked inside the entryway to the Family of Stone. And you can see looking down at you a fairly disgruntled-looking dwarven woman in dwarven priestess penguin nun robes, saying, "Dermir."
Mother?
This is not my mother, is it?
It is not your mother. This is one of the sisters of the Family of Stone. You recognize the face, but especially in this state, do not remember the name.
Ah! Demon folk! Oh, sorry. I will be going now.
Where's your clothes? They said they're
Very
neatly
well.
folded.
This is
Please see that you do.
You know what? No, I'm going to just stand right here, fully naked in front of the clan.
No.
That's not what a true dwarf would do.
No, that's not a true dwarf. There's no honor in that.
Okay.
You just put
So
his
you
clothes
gather your
on.
things.
You just
Do you
walk
put
out.
any clothes on? Or you put them on and then leave?
Yeah.
No, he just
Okay.
gathers them and leaves.
just picks him up and walks out the door. She gives you a dirty look as you leave, but doesn't do anything else as you make your way back towards home. You kind of shaking Warbin awake. He'll kind of like, he kind of just kind of clambers up. He'll be like, ugh, and looks down at his naked self. Looks up. Did you put clothes on or anything around you before you do this?
No.
He'll look up at your naked self and blush. Well, he like reaches and grabs a pillow and puts it over his lap, continuing to blush. And cut to. I think is that everybody's. I guess Axel. Are you hanging around or are you leaving before Nismet?
I'm cooking breakfast at the very least.
Okay. You find that you are actually still in the Bronze Tap.
Yeah.
You are in one of the rooms of the Bronze Tap. Kind of up top there. You're not sure if you've paid for the room for the night. All your gold seems to be accounted for. But you seem to be using a room in the Bronze Tap.
Well, I'll ask her if she wants to get breakfast. And then, if not...
Well, there's food and there's a full kitchen here if you want to get up and make
hell
it.
yeah. Oh yeah, of course, it's the Bronze Tap. It's a big
Also,
ass kitchen. I'm like
it's
at
a
home.
bar, yeah.
This is like, I'm like, oh, I
Axel, if
You
you're
have a fully
Axel,
staffed
this is
or
like-
fully stocked kitchen for yourself.
If this was ever to become anything for Axel, like he's got to impress her with the cooking.
That's
right?
The staff is sweeping up from the night before because it's during their closed hours in the early part of the day.
You walk down. You know what? You're not fully naked. You're mostly naked, apart from your little outfit that they got for you for the dinner party. I picture you walking down wearing that and just starting to cook. What are you making? And roll me a proficient wisdom check to do so.
It's gotta be like a full English breakfast. Like I imagine dwarves eat like essentially an English breakfast with like a mug of ale. So
Okay.
I'll make a English.
Yeah, and
breakfast.
you know what? Just for the sake of we don't have Axel at the inverted peaks. Zaraxis is gonna try his hand at making something for the people who
Go ahead
are
and roll me
there.
a d20 and add your wisdom to it.
Roll what?
A d20 plus your wisdom modifier.
Do I get proficiency? Because
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
do I
you
get
get
proficiency in that? Because I am proficient in
You-
wisdom.
Because he's
No.
he's
You have to have proficiency in cook's utensils.
Okay.
that's a dirty 20, baby.
Dirty 20. What's
Yes.
yours?
An 11.
An 11. You make a fine breakfast. It's passable. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing great, but it's definitely palatable. It's good food.
It's palatable for the hungover fucks in the room.
Yeah. You make a hearty breakfast, so it doesn't matter that it doesn't taste amazing because everyone's just like, I need food or I'm gonna puke. As for you though, you have, especially with this fully stocked kitchen and some help from some like morning line cooks who will come over and help. You're like full chef mode, getting people to help, and you make a beautiful elaborate breakfast. And Nismet will come down, being like, I think I might. Oh, you didn't leave yet. I thought you. What are you making? And she'll come over and have a wonderful breakfast with you that morning.
And there we go.
And there is your guys' night of shenanigans.
You get married. You get married. I get home.
You almost tried to start a revolution. You were back at home for some reason.
That is a great carousing.
I like the idea that I just walked in or like just stood out there and just start screaming at the front door. Like start ranting at the front
No,
door.
not only ranting, but at some point you just either you
Start
decided
pulling
or
your
somebody
shoes. Tarps off,
decided-
boys. Tarps off.
took off his
You
clothes,
family of stuff.
neatly folded it, put it to the side, and then continued ranting.
I'm tired. Just take off my clothes, lay down.
No, it's not that you took them because you're angry. It's because Dermir sleeps nude, and so you got tired while you were drunk, took all your clothes off, and went to sleep. It wasn't in a rage. It was just like your drunk logic. Of like, just time to bed.
I'm just glad I passed out drunk before I actually kickstarted this.
Yeah.
That would have been a whole arc. I'm just not.
I want to know Ngara's story. Why was he a ball?
Nope.
I don't think
That one's going to the grave with Megara.
He probably does. If he remembers, he doesn't want to say.
I want to go to whatever.
It seems like a very nice ball gown.
I want
way
to
too
go to
big.
whatever government office I did this at and try to start the process of reversing the name change.
Fair enough.
Wait, hang on. What-
If you can change your
this
name
is-
that quickly, you can change it back just as quickly.
This is for those
Also,
who were back
why,
at
why
the.
did they let me change my name when I was obviously
Pissed
hammered
drunk.
in the
Yeah,
middle
this
of the night?
This is a question for our,
Like,
our
whoever's
GM.
job it is that lets people change their name in the middle is just an asshole.
For those who were at Inverted Peaks when Thagar, now known as Crimson Fox, showed up,
No.
would he have announced it and would we have heard him? So when he walks downstairs, would we go, "Hey, how's it going, Crimson Fox?"
I
That
doubt
was
he
the
would
middle
have
of the
announced
night.
it.
He did not.
Okay.
I ain't telling
He did not loudly announce that. He is currently the only one who knows that he did that,
Well,
apart from that
There
government
is a
office.
good explanation why they would be open that late at night, because we know that there isn't really like a day-night cycle to Skygate.
Yeah.
Like it's like they have like essentially like most things are 24
You
hours.
guys think with your internal clocks you've kept a surface level day-night cycle, but you're probably partially off at this point too. There's just kind of, they roughly operate on the same as the surface for the sake of businesses, but especially governmental buildings are all 24 hours.
I'll probably just leave the war paint and the bandana on because it just seems like a lot of effort to get rid of it.
That one is genuinely funny. Like the
You were so inspired by that song that you almost kickstarted.
Then at some point in
Revolution.
the middle of the night, I was like, you know what?
She's right.
Yeah, we're burning this whole place to the ground.
Yeah,
Can I
you
manage?
guys, you will have to pay 10 gold pieces to have the legal change go back. But you will be able to go and have your
fine.
name legally changed back to what it truly is.
That's fine.
Viceroy just keeps getting letters being like, please update all official documentation to this name. Like a couple hours later, please update all official documentation to this name.
Or please ignore previous note to update documentation.
Yes. Disregard previous document.
If you ever asked if it was just some weird clerical error, I know nothing about it.
Okay. Fair enough.
That was good. That was good.
Ah,
Good carousing. You need a good carousing roll every once in a while.
You gotta have a good carousing time every now and then. But the rest of you will awaken the next day, and apart from these little bits and bobs you guys do, what are you guys doing?
I think it's gonna be another shopping spree episode based on how everyone's now flush with cash.
I've got some.
You guys can definitely go and do some shopping if there's anything you guys are
You
wanting.
That's
essentially-
where
you-
much of my cash went.
Candle blows his money so fast, he literally pre-blew his paycheck. Like, even before he got any money, he'd already spent most of it
I operate on credit.
on a shiny new sword.
I intend to die just 10 million
Penniless.
gold in debt.
I am going to get dressed and walk Warden home.
You guys who are awake, some of you like as Axel's not there yet. He's spending time on the breakfast, but probably about the time Candle and Dermir are getting back in.
Yeah, I like the
a
idea that,
fairly
like-
embarrassed looking Warbin will be walking out with Lala.
The walk
It's not like embarrassed and like, oh, I can't believe I did, but just kind of like, hey guys, hey
The
guys.
moment I see him, I'm just gonna raise my cup of coffee to him.
So we pass each other, me coming in the door and him going out the door, and I'm clearly extremely hungover with war paint and a bandana.
No,
and then he's gonna
it's a
get
torn piece of Warbin's clothes. Like,
And you can see, now look at it, it's a fur-lined, piece of cloth that you made this out of. And he kind of, looks at the sleeve of his shirt, is like,
but he's gonna pass me dressed for a revolution, and then he's gonna go home, and there'll be a list of demands nailed to the front door of his
Absolutely.
house.
Dermir, apart from being hungover, just looks normal. He's in his normal clothing, which
Why
you
is-
definitely
why is a broom of flying for every Kenku written on the list of demands?
Canker clearly knows this.
I recognize his handwriting. Who have I seen recently dressed for revolution?
Oh wait, he signed it at the bottom.
Oh, absolutely.
Candle would be
with
the
your
worst.
walking him home, Warbin will appreciatively and happily walk with you. And thank you for the walk home. So he had a wonderful time last night and looks forward to meeting again and hopefully continuing making good memories that you both remember more.
It's fair.
I will say shame and give him a little kiss on the cheek. And be like,
Okay. And he'll walk in, and as he walks into these front doors, you see a very old dwarven-looking woman with her arms crossed, waiting there. And she'll give you a smile as she comes in, and then look at Warbird and said, "I told you we had things to do today." And him and Lasgorka will
What's on this list of demands?
And you guys do walk past this weird list of demands, and Warbin looks and sees the thing pinned and doesn't even read it and just keeps walking. If you want to, that's up to you. Mostly it's like dismantle the clan system, the aristocracy is a farce, every kinku deserves a broom of flying, that kind of stuff.
I'm not gonna read it.
Kobolds and goblins should be given full citizenship.
Oh, right.
Is it
Gabriel's got some radical ideas.
Is it written on what a fantasy version of cardboard would be?
Essentially.
Like cardboard.
It's written on another piece of Warbin's clothing.
His other sleeve.
Absolutely. And with that, Lala, you said you're wanting to go get a new dress.
Yeah.
This town is never gonna forget us.
Going to the
By the time we're done.
going
We
to
won't
Aran
remember
Thalor, you can clearly tell that Ashasha Sephinora is in a bit of an uproar as her immaculately constructed front window section has definitely been broken, and you can see that one of her mannequins on the front is missing its clothing. And she seems to be talking with a dwarf out front, or they seem to be talking with a dwarf out front, going over the details of the cost of repairing the window.
Is it a small mannequin missing clothing? Or?
It's a dwarven-sized mannequin.
Oh.
That's why it was so big on him. Just, I'll cover the cost. You patch this up so the cops don't arrest you.
And they seem to be kind of finishing this business, and then they will see you and then turn their back to you, and then garishly rotate and be like, "Hello, and welcome to what's left of my establishment. Some drunk ruffians thought they were funny last night."
Is that all that happened?
Yes, I believe so. One dress was stolen.
Okay.
Of course, everything in my store is a fine make, but it wasn't my finest dress.
Oh.
So he doesn't care. They don't care.
Can we can buy just adventuring equipment at cost, right?
Yes.
Because I need to replace my rope.
I will look around the dresses.
Okay, what are you looking for?
Give me some gold pieces.
Probably for just another nice maybe I don't know. Is there any fun events coming up or anything that we know about?
Nothing that you explicitly know about. There's always, it's a big city. There's always something to do. If you're looking for something, you could probably find something.
I'll be looking for a dress that's kind of nice for evening out, but also maybe to impress somebody too,
Okay, so something a little fancier. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there...
If you just
No, continue with what you're saying. I'll ask it
okay,
afterwards.
they'll be first of all, as you kind of puts you up on the window, the paneled window thing where you can turn and yes. I have to be honest with you, dear. You look terrible, but also simply glowing. You definitely drank too much last night, but you also got laid. I can tell. And something to impress. Oh. Jealous. And Ashashis will kind of jauntily skip over to a rack and come over with a couple options for you.
Okay.
And after going through a couple different things, we'll land on something that is now, I tend to try and go for very complementary colors with you, but I think something a bit different. Something and then there'll be this kind of this sort of deep ivory green ball gown style dress that has lots of gaps between sleeves and sections of it that are pieced together with chain, with ornate golden chain. He's this is one of my finer pieces I've just recently received from the motherland, as it were.
I was.
This comes from one of the finest duos of elven smithy and of course elven fine dressmaking from the capital city, Euron Tassar.
I shall take it. How much?
Okay. She says this one, again, a very elegant piece. For a frequent customer, a bit of a discount. It'll cost you 75 gold. But understand, all of this is true gold, every single link, and
As a gold
handcrafted.
dragon myself, I do appreciate it. I shall take it. It's mine.
You got it.
And so the wardrobe grows by one.
By 2, really.
Our party collectively has gained 2 Arad Thalor dresses.
2 ball gowns have been gained in the last 24 hours.
Poor Ingara.
When you get into your room, Axel, you do see Hingara still wearing a oversized ball gown, curled up in his little pillow pile asleep.
He's got to sleep it off.
He had a real roller coaster of a night, from like truly discovering music to committing a felony to.
You know anything about goblins? It's that the second one's much more common than the first.
I'm gonna ask a question. Was there a clan who specializes in enchanting equipment?
The Runehearts would be the ones who can do that.
Okay.
They're the only ones who would be able to. That'd be the go-to people.
All right. I guess I'm gonna go have a conversation with the Runeheart, see about getting some equipment enchanted.
Okay. What is it that you're looking for? They sell magic items there, decent variety. They also will do custom enchantment service for people. It is fairly expensive, depending on what you're wanting to get done.
Or like a +7 longsword, please.
Of sharpness.
That will cost you your life and your undying soul, as well as that of your entire party,
So
including Hingara. You have to sell his soul too.
Yeah.
Can you live with yourself if you do that? Doesn't matter, because they get to kill you and take your life too.
because I have the claymore, but I also have another. I still have a great sword. So maybe if I wanted to see about maybe getting the great sword enchanted for.
You know that to get an item enchanted, it has to be like a fine piece of craftsmanship to begin with. A like generic great sword you bought is probably not fine enough to hold an enchantment worth enchanting. They could try and augment the other swords you have to make it have a different or better or other enchantment to it. Since it's a fine craft, it's harder to add enchantments to something that's already enchanted, but it's certainly something they could try and do.
But if they fail, does it break? It doesn't like destroy the current enchantment.
If they failed catastrophically, maybe.
You know what? Okay, let's go see if they can maybe add an enchantment to the claymore
Or improve the.
or improve it. That'd be great.
They will certainly be willing to try and add an enchantment onto it.
Let me
If you're
ask,
wanting to
how
make
much
it
is that
a-
going to cost first?
If you're wanting to just make it a finer like weapon to use, +1 enchantment, they say that if you already have a fine craftwork item that isn't a +1 weapon that you want to make a +1 weapon mechanically, it'll cost you 1,500 gold pieces.
Okay, never mind. I'm short by like 100 gold. So it was a nice thought.
If you really want it, somebody else would probably be able to leave you alone. But
Yeah, I don't want to owe people. It's too
There'd be
much of a
4
hassle.
fifths of my money. On account of how I'm putting together a miniature Underdark survival kit for the new Dragonborn.
I think if I could check out the Runehearts and see, it might be outside our price range. If they can get either a Ring of Spellstorm would be the high ticket item that might be too expensive, but a Pearl of Power would also be a helpful magic item for me. Either way, one is an uncommon, one is a rare. So I'm like, rare might be a little too pricey at this point.
Yeah, the Ring of Spellstoring is probably well outside of your price range, but a Pearl of Power just stores like 1 spell in it.
Yeah, you get to recover a 3rd level spell slot.
Until next time. It's an uncommon. They would sell you that one for 1,500 as well.
Okay. I will take it.
Okay. It does require attunement.
Yes. Luckily, I'm not
stick with
attuned
other-
to.
I think you're attuned to a wand.
Yeah, my rod.
That's it.
I'm attuned to
Your
my
rod.
rod.
What? Whoa.
Whoa, whoa there. All right, you have that. Any other purchasing you guys are wanting to try and do?
I need to buy a full plate.
Okay,
Same.
same.
You wear full plate?
Or wait, maybe.
You should have heavy armor proficiency.
Yeah. You want?
Full plate. Hey, I'm noticing a theme here. Full plate, I believe, is also 1,500 gold.
We're at that
For the
level.
cost to make
fifth
full.
level.
You had the 1,500 gold level for upgrades. You can certainly buy full plate. You'd be 1,500 gold at any of the smithies, and they'd have to custom make it for you. It'd take probably at least some days, close to a week.
Okay, that's fine. I'll go put it in order.
Okay.
Same.
2 orders of full
All
plate.
right.
2 full
You
I'll
got it.
sell my splint mail as well to them.
Do you
Okay.
want
Yeah,
to
take
wait
down.
until you get your full plate before you do that?
No.
Okay.
What could go wrong?
It is worth saying that your splint is the one that you attached your padlock loops to.
Crap. Okay, then I want to. When they make the new full plate, can they put padlock things so my helmet is compatible with it as well?
They say if you give them your old armor, they'll keep it as the cost to do that in difference. And
Okay,
then
that's
they'll
fine.
take the padlock loops off of it and attach it to your new armor.
Alright, that works for me.
How does this affect
Okay.
my armor class?
It becomes 20.
18.
It becomes 18. Plus, you have a shield, right?
Yeah.
So your AC will be 20.
1 AC for $1,500.
Best money you ever spent.
I'm gonna
I
need
literally
that.
was just
You know
looking
I'm gonna
up
need it.
what the cost of full plate was on Google, and all I found was like a 4-paragraph rant about why full plate is so expensive. Just like all the other +1 AC jumps in armor class are like a minuscule amount of gold compared to the like 1,300 gold jump to go from splints to full plate.
Yeah. It's quite a lot, but I think it has to do with like bounded accuracy, probably. Like the difference between.
It's also a thing of like the
Crafting is part of it.
most effective light armor can be without magical augmentation is base AC of 17, and so plate armor is the first armor that breaks that symmetry, and I think the highest that medium armor can be is also 17 because half plate is 15 plus 2 dex max. So 18. It's the only vanilla armor in the game that without feats or magical changes has an AC higher than 17 with like
So it's
a maximum
basically-
level stat.
It's
bonus.
basically like a
So-
+1 split mail would be like.
It's essentially a magic item compared to the rest of the armor in the game with a specialist using it. So I think that's like the big jump.
Yeah, it's essentially a magic item. Like if I wanted to get +1 studded leather armor, it'd be 1,500 gold because
It'd
it's
probably
like
be
a common
something like
magic
that, yeah.
item. So it's like, or finely crafted, but it's like technically magical, you know. So, which would have been the other thing to
yeah.
look at is +1.
It's like it makes sense from a balancing standpoint, but then from like an in-world economy standpoint, it's like, how does it more than
It's
like
a lot of raw
double the
materials.
price for like a little more metal?
Well, I definitely don't have
Um,
enough money to buy.
There's actually an interesting
that kind
lore
of armor,
reason you
so.
could get to that is like because like the society relies on magic instead of technology. Like their metallurgy isn't up to the point of being able to easily craft like large metal items like that. That's what I would say anyway. It's like if you're writing your own world or like trying to like infer something about it that way. It's like they rely on magic to do things so much that it's actually like easier from a technological standpoint to make a +1 scale mail or +1 split mail because it's like more difficult to make full plate or something. Because they just don't have the like smithing capabilities.
They're good at magic, but they suck with a hammer.
Yeah.
Uh,
like from a,
So,
I don't know. It's
you guys, any other shopping you guys are doing during this bit of downtime?
I blew all my money,
I blew most of mine.
or not all of it.
A lot of it.
I've got enough money to do more carousing the
Where
rest
do you
of this week. But maybe we should limit that to
I thought
one.
a magic item.
One carousing per expedition.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's our reward for surviving an expedition. Is we get to go
With
carousing.
whatever table you're doing, I think we need one
We can look
carousing
at
per campaign.
finding you some a
You
magic
can't
item.
survive
for
20
Jocelyn. I just don't know any good bard ones off the top of
What
my
are you
head.
talking about? I got the slide whistle of
That's true.
vibration.
That's the most powerful magic item you're gonna have. So it's
What else do you need?
yeah.
What else do
Oh
you
no,
need?
we could look at like a +1 rapier for you or something. That'd be 1,500 gold.
Are you gonna buy
You'd
that?
have so to get a +1 rapier, you have to get a masterwork rapier, and then they will pay 1,500 to do it. So you have to. It'll be more expensive than that.
So
But you
I
could
don't know
do
how much
something.
money, how much cash you have on.
I think she uses scimitars, doesn't she?
Oh, scimitars. Excuse me, not a rapier. She uses a scimitar.
I do.
Excellent. I think that's the kind of
Use two.
swords bard.
2 of them, in fact. It takes her twice as much to upgrade her.
Yeah, I think I'm just waiting for my sword to be done, and then we're
Yeah,
waiting for armor to be done.
How much gold?
I'm waiting to.
I'd like to. Oh, good.
Essentially, I'm just waiting.
And 100.
I'd have to wait on the next
So that'd be
expedition to
something
do
you
anything
could
I
do.
want.
You could get
So now I'm just waiting for the reply from
You
Eighth.
could.
Which you will receive an offer basically to come for an afternoon tea with her, if you're wanting to discuss anything.
Ah, yes.
You and anyone else you want to bring with you.
Nah, this is kind of private information.
Okay.
I don't think I need to bring anybody else with me for this.
Okay, we'll do that real quick. You can arrive outside the Stamaraster estate. It is very nice. It is fairly large and very nice.
This is.
Um,
I just look at it and just like, this is way too much above my pay grade.
and the door will be answered, but not by her because she's too rich to answer her own door.
Yeah, she's got
Um,
buttons.
You can see. And entering it, the door is answered. The person who answers it is essentially wearing a rubber gimp suit.
Like the gimp suit that Axel has.
Much more covering than that. Like most of their body is covered, but it's like a one-piece leather suit with a mask attached to it.
They have a
And he'll
sign
answer the door for you, and be like, "Are you Xeraxus?
that I am.
Right this way, sir."
Would you put something on the side?
Could you put on the gimp suit? It'll make us feel more comfortable.
It looks like the person inside of it is a fairly fit humanoid. You can kind of see some what probably are elven ears under the mask bit.
I'm not even gonna ask.
He'll guide you back to a small sitting area in the center of it, and sitting there you see Eighth. She is wearing. She has her kind of bleach white hair, golden tan skin, winding white horns along the sides of her head. She has her left arm all the way up to the shoulder, covered in a white glove, and wears a nice white silk gown.
Is it the same arm as me that she's got? Because it's
Yours is the right, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah, it's the
Her
right.
whole left arm is covered.
so
by
it's
the
opposite. Okay.
Well, maybe she's left hand down.
And it was covered previously as well.
Yeah, I remember that. So. I'll just set my sword by the door
Okay.
because of course I came armed.
He doesn't he's not like saying like, disarm yourself here or whatever. Like he doesn't seem to force you to, but if you do, he'll.
It's
make
more
you
of a
right.
sign of respect, like
Yeah.
I put it down as I trust her.
And if you take a seat there, there's a fine porcelain pot with some steam coming off of it, and she seems to be sipping a tea that gives off a beautiful fruity bouquet, floral sort of scent into the air. And this man in a gimp suit will pick up the thing and pour a cup for you, setting it back down, bow, and then walk away.
Thank you.
Hang on, rewind. Gimp suit?
It's a full gift
Oh, yeah, you're
covering everything. It's
Yeah,
a
the
little more-
butler's wearing a gimp suit, essentially.
I came back to and the butler in the gimp suit.
You sit down and then the butler comes over in the gimp suit and pours you a cup of tea. And you're like,
Wait,
what?
hold on.
What?
rewind.
There's what now?
Oh,
You'll have to,
Tentacles
you'll have to watch
undulate,
the episode.
Warbin blushes.
That's the whole thing.
Real flip flop.
Real fun.
I'll first make the comment and be like, well, that's interesting suit you have your butlers wear.
Shows
It's
off
a
their ass.
Stemaraster tradition.
Who am I to judge a tradition?
Don't kink shame me.
Kink shaming is my kink. I'll just kind of, I'll look at her and be like, well, as my letter stated, there's information that that we discovered in the Underdark that maybe you or your contacts might have a little bit of info on. We discovered or at least a route in regards to a town called Slofton, a Snurf Neblin city. Essentially, I'll just kind of relay a bit of my backstory to her about being summoned by a cult, destroying said cult, but now I'm looking for a specific item that they were after, and the city has the route I need to take, but I need to know more about the city and maybe how this route works.
Okay. She will say, with what you've divulged of your backstory to her, she's like, very interesting, very intriguing indeed. Looking for an artifact of Levistus, then, of some sort.
Yes.
Do you mind me asking what in particular?
The grasp of Levistus.
This I've heard of. I'm assuming you're wanting it for personal use. Otherwise, I would certainly be happy to take it off of your hands. No pun intended. That being said, any other things, especially if there's any something like that, would likely have little texts around it. Anything related to that, I certainly would be interested in. If you find it, I would be happy to pay top dollar for most things related to such things.
Anything that I find around it, you are more than welcome to have. But there's, as you correctly surmised, there is a personal reason for me looking for this.
May I ask, you say you were raised by this cult. You turned on them?
Yes.
Would you consider yourself a follower of Levistus?
Honestly, I don't know. Being raised by a cult and then turning on them, does it shake what I've been taught as I grew up? But it doesn't mean doesn't mean I have forgotten what I've been taught.
I think back hills, mountain cults see a tiefling and see value in their blood more than in their mind and their capabilities. I could understand disliking a group like that likely was using you more than working with you.
That's one way to put it.
What I know of Slufton, it's a large, relatively speaking, hold of Sverfneblin, town of miners and gemstone cutters. They have, from all my knowledge, some manner of traversing the lava plains around their village, their city. I don't know exactly what that entails. If your hope is to traverse that area at all, my recommendation would be to go to the city and find someone who has whatever these modes of transportation are and become friends with them. That would be your likeliest bet if you're trying to traverse that area in search of something, especially something hidden. It's hard to move through a magma field without the ability to stay out of the magma, as it
That is fair. I'll kind of ask her, because I'll also bring up the vision, or the ghost that was writing on the recording of the ghost writing on the walls with the text of that we had to decipher when we were in the Underdark. Trying to think of how I want to phrase this. That's clearly the clue to how to get there. I guess what I'm just more interested in is if she knows what kind of magic that was, what kind of illusion magic that was that a recording could play for that amount of time.
If you describe in detail that situation to her, she'll say that I don't know this particular follower. It's not someone I've heard of any historical texts of. However, I believe if you were detecting illusion magic, the illusion magic you were detecting was that of the etchings on the spire itself, likely not the entity you were seeing. I don't believe you saw a illusion. I believe you saw the echo of a soul, the echo of a creature who had a great deal of significance in the place you saw it. And likely, for one reason or another, I would assume that they are somehow bound to that place, or at least a place relatively nearby. It's not unheard of for particularly devout followers of powerful beings to remain in service to those beings on the mortal plane in whatever capacity they can be after their demise.
Alright. Kind of answers the questions that I have there. I guess before I leave, I'll finally I'll kind of point out my question and be like, exactly at her left arm. So I see you also cover part of your arm. Is it safe to assume that you have also made a deal with one of the lords of hell?
And she kind of cocks an eye at this and she says, I knew I felt something different about you. And she kind of gestures towards your arm, seeming like
I'll unwrap it and just show her the mark.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the cool guy handshake.
respectable demonic deals.
With Asmodeus.
And she'll like kind of look up and down at this like embedded handprint in you, and she'll be like, most curious. What was the nature of your deal?
Kind of like a book club thing, you know.
In simple terms, I died, and it was the deal of being brought back.
A deal this binding is one not easily struck and usually has some steep circumstances required of it. Is this in relation to your hunt for the grasp, I assume?
It is part of it, yes. I also have.
I will level.
I also have a couple more I've been asked tasks I have been asked with completing.
Very interesting. I'll level with you. I and my family have a history of similar. I got the way I am for a reason, she says, gesturing towards her horns. I have two parents who are, for all intents and purposes, looking at them, pure-blooded, high elven nobility. There's a reason I am the way I am with my family's history. I cover my arm, and she kind of like twists it, for a different reason altogether. No physical signs of any pacts are there.
Can I see the...
Different reason.
Understandable. It's not one I will pry more into. So I'll thank her for the information and start to head out.
Okay.
But not before rewrapping the arm, because don't need
Okay,
people to see
rewrap the arm, finish up some tea, and a strapping elven lad in a gimp suit will walk you out.
I'm gonna turn to her before I walk away and be like, I'm never gonna get used to that.
She's like, if you spend enough time around here, you'll get used to it.
My boss already wears one of these. I don't need to see more.
She gives a inquisitive, cocked eyebrow.
Really what he's wearing is more of a harness.
Right.
Nothing else.
His is a bit more revealing.
It's but it's still too close to home. It's more than Zeraxis is willing to deal with.
And you are able to head out and leave there.
Alright, I have my next objective. Become friends with Snurf Nevlin with a means of crossing this lava.
You have your heading.
I have my
Within another day's time, your sword will be complete.
Let's go pick up my sword. Also, how much
You
do
have-
riding lizards cost?
Oh no.
They're a
Dangerous
bit
question.
pricey. If you would like a riding lizard, let me go to that section of my notes. Equipment. Is it the equipment section for services? Or is it just in the business section by itself?
The scale pit. Sells riding lizards.
The skill pit. Yes. You know that a lizard mount is 1,000 gold pieces for a trained riding lizard. But they essentially have like spider climb and shit. Like they can traverse walls. They're very useful mounts for traversing underdark locations.
Cool. Let's grab my sword.
Okay. You have a sword made of divine gilded metal with the handle forged from Empyrean bones. It feels hefty. It's got some weight to it from this metal. This metal seems like you'd expect the kind of elven, like mithril, like light as a feather, tough as dragon scales. Like
Right.
it is. It moves very. It has like a hearty, good weight to it, but it feels good in your hand still. It's not like a cumbersome weight. It is just like it has heft behind it. And as far as you know, it's a longsword.
Cool.
Speaking
Feels
of,
good in the hand.
Speaking of wiggly fingers, I can copy 3rd level ritual spells in my book now. What with being a 5th level wizard. So
Yes.
I would like to try and talk to the Rune Hearts again, if they're the correct people to talk to, about copying a couple of spells into my spellbook.
What are you looking for?
The one in particular that's interesting is the Leonoid's tiny hut, whatever his name is.
Leoman's tiny hut.
Leoman's tiny hut. That's a very good
Okay.
one. At 3rd level, and there's another one. Find Steed, I think, was a good wizard ritual spell. Let me find it.
All right.
Let me look at the list, make sure I'm not forgetting something obvious.
Holy long sword.
Holy long sword.
Or on
That's
Would
true. It could be-
casting Identify on my new Holy Longsword give me any more information, or am I just gonna have to sort of feel it out?
You think casting Identify could divulge more secrets?
Well, that's what I'm here for.
To the wizard's office.
Hello.
I've been called into the wizard's office.
Yeah, Phantom Steed is also a very good one there. It just lets me summon a horse at will, or in this case, with
Okay.
10 minutes of ritual casting, which it's not good in an emergency, but it is handy in a pinch.
So it'll cost you to copy both of those in. It will cost you a total of. So the inks. You'll be paying for the inks as well to do this.
Oh, okay. Well, I have some inks of my own as well. So
Oh.
if I can deduct
How
that,
much?
I have 250 gold worth of inks, and
If you use all of that, then the remaining cost will be 250 gold pieces,
250 gold. Done.
and you'll have those two
Hell
two
yeah.
copied into your ritual book.
Those are two really good rituals, in my opinion. The other good ones that are still on my list that I need to get are Unseen Servant and Tensor's Floating Disc. I feel like those are very good rituals.
So what do we decide? Is it Tensor's Floating Disc, or we're just like it's the fantasy equivalent of knowing how to operate a forklift?
Yes, it's the being forklift certified of the D&D world. You can move 500 pounds around without needing anything else. Which actually could be very handy in our underground exploration. If I have that on hand. Do I want to try to get that on hand before our next Underdark expedition? Yeah. How much would Tensor's Floating Disc cost me? It'd be
It's a
50
first level.
First level.
Ritual?
It'd be 50 gold for the inks.
50 for the ink, and they would charge you probably another. It would be another 30 gold for access to that spell.
Yeah, so 330 total. I can do that.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Tensor's floating disc is added to the list.
You are now forklift certified.
I'm now forklift
You are now
certified.
forklift certified.
I love it. Well, so now it's interesting. So I have a horse that I can summon at not instant speed, at sorcery speed. I have a camp tent that can fit 9 people under it. That is very strong. If you read through that, like it's a very good spell. And I'm forklift certified, which is also very helpful.
Perfect.
So
If you
Ritual
cast
spells.
Identify on his new holy long
no, I get Ingard to do it.
Okay. Hingaro will get his little green fingers and start rubbing up and down along the blade.
Be careful,
And
it's
he'll be like, what's this
extremely
made out of?
Angelic metal?
Like just one angelic metal? Or
Like metal forged by the gods?
a god made this?
Well,
Kind of like
Well,
looks at
yes,
it
but are you
disappointed.
telling me a shrimp fried this rice?
You're telling me a shirt
He's gonna
well,
shrug.
yes, but actually no.
Must have been a small god. And he puts his hands on it, mutters some weird stuff in Goblin, and his fingertips glow. And he will let you know that this longsword, you can.
No.
as-
Explain it to me in Hingara terms.
Yes. It is. If you think really hard about it, it will glow. And if you stab bad stuff with it, it'll help you stab bad stuff with it.
Sweet. So I assume it does more damage to, like,
So,
some
it
types of
is-
creatures, but I can
it's
also
considered
make it-
magical. It is considered magical for overcoming resistances and whatnot. It is also considered silver, if silver is a specific weakness for something. It is considered both magical and silver with this metal. You can use an action to cast light on it whenever you want, at will.
Oh, so you don't need a candle.
And it just flat gives advantage on all attacks against fiends, fae, and undead.
Oh, that's quite good. That is quite good. I wonder how the stack up is like a +1 versus advantage. Like
Advantage is roughly seen as a +5 to a roll, mathematically.
in like.
so it's like a +5 to hit essentially.
That's why like having a having flat advantage on your perception checks, the way that is measured in passive perception is just a +5 bonus.
Makes sense.
Fae, fiends, and undead. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Cool.
My back sore.
It is a
And with him being an old man, I think it'll be another couple of days before you guys will get your plate armor, but you can just mark it down as having that and put it amongst your items. And before we kind of wrap up this episode, what is kind of your plan for next time?
Yeah.
What's your next move? Are you guys hanging in town a bit longer, or do you guys know what you're doing next?
Well, I think
It's
also
about a
wanna
week's
stay long enough
downtime to get
move
all
our
this stuff.
M's.
yeah.
No, that's fine. We can just keep going.
Yeah, well, I think that'll be a full week of rest once we get all the full plates. So I think we'll be good there.
Yeah. So
We're going back here.
So
Alhoon thing.
yeah, are we?
Mr. Hoon?
Because I'm assuming we're gonna try and do.
Mr. Alhoon.
I'm assuming we're gonna try and do one or the other because I don't know if we can do both.
I think we should probably, because the Alhoon's relatively close, or close-ish,
We'll pivot from that.
and I think that should be our focus. Like we still need to make these expeditions profitable,
Yeah.
but I think we should.
You would know
find
that
Alhoon.
looking at the maps and stuff, the Alhoon is a very close trip, like a couple days. It is a pretty direct route to it, and Alhoon seems to be cavern, like literally like 3 days out from Skygate.
There's also, I think, a really good chance, knowing mysterious oracle figures like this, that it's not going to just be like, yes, ask me any questions you wish, I'll help if I can. It's just nice to have people
We
go
should count on,
You think he's gonna have some task he's gonna make
Yeah.
you do?
we should count on compliments.
Next time on Skygate. Thank you everybody for watching. And next time, the Cavern of the
What
Outlaw.
happened next time? Skygate.
We will see you in the next episode of Skygate.